Don't you just hate those spam callers? They ring you up. You know that they're a spam right from the start, don't you? Aren't you aware now when that Indian voice says, hello, I'm from O2 and I've got this promotion? And you think to yourself, I just know you're a spam caller. Why are you going through with it? And yet they do. They carry on. So yesterday I was minding my own business, doing what I do in a normal day, and suddenly the phone rang. And I've noticed now they're no longer using my landline. Actually, I need to get rid of my landline, really, because I never use it. It's a cost that I don't need. So I'm thinking of changing from the current supplier to one supplier that I can use on my mobile phone that will also do the uploads and internet. But I need somebody who's good for uploads, not just the downloads. You know what it's like when you're trying to sort of upload stuff. If you're a content creator or you're sending files to friends, video files and that sort of thing, upload is, to me, more important than downloading. Although, one does download bits and bobs, and it's nice to have it fast. But that would all be Wi-Fi or 4G or 5G, whatever it is. But anyway, that's by the by. But I've just noticed that these scam callers no longer call on my landline. They're now using my mobile phone, which is handy because it does show whether there's a number on the screen or not. And you can see if it's a private number, you think, hello, who's this? And if it's a number, you can check the number whilst they're on it. And often I don't know how they do this, but I've noticed that they're able to somehow subjugate the number that you see is a different number that's displayed. And now, in other words, it's the number of a legitimate company, but it's still a scam organization. I don't know how they do that, but it's very clever. And of course, scammers are trying to be clever because they want to get your money. So yesterday, there I was minding my own business, doing as your normal stuff. And the phone rang, and up comes an 0330 number, which I think is an O2 number. And they said, hello, they're in their Indian accent, which of course I'm now going to get racially abused for. But you'll just know. I don't know what the scammers. Look, here's some advice. If you're a scammer and you want to make some money, here's a little bit of advice. If you're ringing English people and you're trying to extract money out of them, which is clearly what your raison d'etre is, you horrible, nasty people, at least why don't you either employ some English people, or perhaps the English people just go, do you know what? I don't want to be a scammer. Thank you. Or why don't you go and get some English accent lessons? Because we just know as soon as you get the Indian accent, oh, hello there, I'm ringing from O2. Yes, okay, it's unlikely these days that O2 is going to use an Indian-based voice to ring you up. No disrespect to genuine, nice and friendly Indians, by the way. No disrespect, no whatever. But it's just that scammers all seem to come from the same household or the same family or the same town or country or whatever it is. They all sound the same, so you can spot them a mile off. I mean, I do feel sorry for those people who do fall for the scammers, because clearly they must be so embarrassed at the end of it and think, what was I thinking? Of course, when they ring up with you can have 30% promotion, and they think, yeah, I'll have that. I'll give you my bank details and everything else. And oh, how funny. I've no longer got any money at all. And that promotion that they promised me doesn't seem to be working. No. Yeah, imagine that. Well, anyway, I was rung up by one of these and they said, hello, it's O2 here, and we've got this 30% promotion, and you've been specially selected. And I thought, oh, yeah, here we go. So I thought, right, okay, I'm going to play along with you, because I often play along with these scammers. I think it's all good fun to play along with them. So I said, okay, no problem at all. Give me your name and your account number, and I'll put you through to the relevant department. And the first of all, they weren't listening to me at all. They're saying, no, we're O2 and you've been selected, and would you like this promotion? You're going to get 30% off, blah, 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 and off they went. And I said, it sounds absolutely marvellous. I'll put you through to the right department. I just need your name. Could you tell me your name, please? And eventually this guy did tell me his name. I had no idea what it was because it was unpronounceable and unspellable. And I said, thank you very much. And your account number. And he proceeded to give me the telephone number, which was on the phone screen, 0330, whatever. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, that appears to be a telephone number. Our accounts always start with 2 letters of the alphabet, which a lot of accounts do. They might be BH403 006 104. Somewhere, someone out there will have that account number for something. And I apologise if I've used your account number. It's probably not an O2 account. It might actually be, I don't know, an electric account or an account for who knows what. But anyway, so that wasn't the number. He didn't give me an account number. And of course he's not going to give me an account number because he thinks he's ringing me to sell me the promotion. But I'm playing along, pretending that he has rung the switchboard at O2 and I'm trying to put him through to the correct department. So there's this mismatch that he doesn't understand because their brains are very small and they've got a script and they cannot conceive that actually they may have rung a completely different outfit. Well, I kept doing this. I just kept going on. So every time he said, well, this is O2, and we want to give you this promotion of 30% off, and you've been specially selected and all that. As I said, but it's great. I will put you through to the relevant person. We have a promotions department. I will put you through. But what I do need, as well as your name, I need your account number. And he kept giving me the telephone number, and I kept explaining, no, that's your telephone number. That's no good. Our system will not put you through to the relevant department unless you give me your account number. And he said, no, we are O2 ringing you. And I said, yes, that's right. You have rung O2. No problem there. I will put you through. So every time he tried to reinforce the fact that he was O2, which of course he wasn't. And for those of you overseas who may never have heard of O2, just for the sake of that, it's a telecom company that does mobile phone tariffs and things like that. And so he kept telling me, oh, no, we are O2. And I just, instead of me saying, oh, no, but I'm O2, I would just say, yes, that's right, you've rung O2, well done, you're at the main switchboard. Now, in order for me to put you through, I need to have your account number. And he just could not understand that he had made this error in his dialing up because he just had this list. And presumably they have notes against it because you continually get the same bloody thing. I've had the same promotion, they try and wear you down, don't they? But they didn't, not in my case. So I kept on going like this, and eventually a penny must have dropped. Oh no, that's right. What actually happened was, as I just remembered, he said, so don't you want this promotion? And I said, well, I'm sure if you don't want the promotion, I won't put you through to the relevant department. And he must have misheard. They don't listen. That's their problem. They just don't listen to what you're saying. They're just desperate to get you to the next stage, which is to try and make out they're genuine, and often they give you some vague number, and actually it turns out, I've had it in the past where they've said, what we'll do is we'll send you a text. In fact, we'll send you two texts. The first text will tell you, to prove that we're not spam, will be one about, if this is a spam message, don't reply to it. So they actually say to you, and what they've done is they've gone into O2 or whoever the outfit is, and they have put in your name and stuff. They don't have enough information to get all your details, but they have your name and they have your telephone number, clearly, because they've rung you. And so that's enough for them to send a text which comes to you, anybody could do this. You could do it yourself, and it would come to your own phone, and it would say, if you get a text from anybody from O2, please don't answer it. But they tell you, they said, oh yes, this is a security thing, so you'll get this text telling you don't answer it. That's fine, that's absolutely normal. And so the next text you'll know is from us. And of course, the next text is a text saying, give us your account number, and you can sign in, and everything will be fine. And they're trying to prove that they are security clear, but of course it's actually not, and you've got to be very careful, and I can see how people will be duped in. My approach is that I just do not, I get a lot of cold calls anyway because I'm registered as a business. So from the days of doing the corporate video business, I was registered as a business, and I would get loads of cold calls, and I still get these people who want to switch me to their telephone things. But I tell everybody who rings up, I'm afraid to say I have a policy in which I will not switch on the first phone call that you make. I need to build a rapport with you before I do anything else. And sometimes this upsets them. They say, oh yeah, but we've got this special offer. You can have 20% off now, and you're low. And they always say, how much are you paying at the moment? Well, it's none of your bloody business, is it? It's none of your business what I'm paying at the moment. Thank you very much. You've rung me out of the blue, and you're asking for personal information or private, not corporate, but company information. I'm sorry, I'm not. And they said, yeah, but we can compare how much you're paying now, and we'll tell you how the smaller payments you'll get if you switch to us. And I said, well, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. You ringing me up, send me something through the post. And of course, well, we haven't got anything we can send you, but we can send you to the website. No, that's no good. Anybody can set up a website and pretend to be a power company or an electric company or a telephone company or a water company or whatever it is. Anyone can do it. Send me a brochure in the post with a letter, and I might take you seriously, and you might, start to build a rapport that I actually trust that you're real. I think too many people just go along and they hear somebody saying, "Oh, but we can save." In the past, you know what I've done? In the past, when people have said, "We can save you, 20% on your electricity," and I said, "Oh, that's such a shame." They said, "What do you mean?" This is what I've done. Genuinely, they said, "We can save you 20%." I said, "Oh, that's a shame. Can you charge me more?" What do you mean, charge you more? I said, "Oh, we've made so many profits and we need to put it against tax this year, and it would be much better if we could find a company who actually charged us more, because everybody rings up and says we can save you money." I said, "That's no good to me. I need to be charged more." And they're off the script then. They're reading their script and they're going, "Well, we can save you. What do you mean? You want to be charged?" I said, "Yeah, if you could come to me with a deal in which you can charge me 25% more than all my competitors, that would be so much better. We've made so much money in the profits and stuff, and we need to put it against tax. Otherwise, it all goes to the tax man, you see." And he's going, "Oh, blimey." I said, "Well, we can't really do that." I said, "Oh, such a shame, such a shame. Come back when you can charge me more," which is always hilarious. I had one bloke, it was the end of a day, it was a Friday afternoon, and this bloke rang up, and he was an electric company, and he said to me, if I can, do any sort of amount of electricity reduction, how much would you want? And again, I said, "Oh, well, we don't really use electricity." And he said, "Pardon?" He said, "I don't really use electricity in my business." He said, "What do you mean you don't use electricity?" I said, "Well, the thing is, we make clockwork oranges." And the first thing that came to my head, I often muck about with these people. I think if they're going to ring me up out of the blue and try and waste my time selling stuff to me, I will muck. I mean, these are just genuine people on the switchboard. This is their job. Unfortunately, it's not a good job. I would hate to do it, ringing people up on spec and saying, "Here, we can offer you a discount. Come and join us," with nothing to prove who they are. So I waste their time. Why not? They're wasting mine. And so I said, "Yeah, we make clockwork oranges." And he obviously had never heard of the film, The Clockwork Orange, which I think was a 1960s film or early 70s, something like that. And so first thing that came to my mind, I said, "Of course, so we don't use electricity to make these clockwork because it's all clockwork. Everything in our business is made from clockwork. We wind it up in the morning, and as it powers down, we can make our clockwork oranges." He said, What do you do with these clockwork oranges?" And I said, "Well, we sell them. We sell about 6 a month. They're intricate. They take a lot of time. You've probably heard of Fabergé eggs, have you? They're similar to that, only these are orange, and they're made. They've got the mechanism inside. They're self-peeling clockwork oranges. They peel, and they've got a little thing. And not only do they peel, as in an orange, but they chime because they peel, if you see what I mean. There's all wasted. All these gags wasted on this individual, as you can probably imagine. And in the end, I said, he genuinely said, not thinking what I was talking about, he said, "Are you winding me up?" And I said, "Well, we wind everybody up. It's clockwork oranges. Everything is wound up here. We're all wound up. We're so stressed by the end of the day. We're so wound up. We need to go and relax. It's a Friday afternoon." He said, "Oh, so you don't need any electricity?" So I said, No, not at all." He said, "Oh, okay. Do you know anybody else?" See, this is how desperate the poor bloke was. "Do you know anybody else that needs some cheaper electricity?" And I said, "I'm afraid I really don't. I'm so sorry. But anyway, goodbye." And so that conversation went on for about 20 minutes. And I thought, well, if I can lighten their load a little bit with a few jokes. I had one, can't remember what they were. Double glazing, probably. We used to have a load of this, if you could have any number of double glazing, what would you like? And I would say, double glazed windows. And I said to this chap once, I said, "Well, we don't have any windows here." And he said, "Oh, okay. If you could have any number of double glazed," just went straight onto it, just accepted what I said. "We don't have any windows." He said, "Okay. If you could have double glazed doors, how many would you want?" And I said, "Well, we don't really have any doors either." I said, and he said, "What?" That's when he twigged it. He said, what do you mean you don't have any doors? I said, we have a trap door. That's how we get in and out the office. He said, you have a trap door? I said, yes, the thing is, the building is right up against a very busy road. So you can't cross the road and open the door because it would open onto the door. So actually what we do is we go down a trap door across the road, and then there's a tunnel underneath into the building. And he went, oh, I see. I said, but that trap door is really only a bit of old, flimsy wood. I said, we could do with a new trap door. Double glazed trap door would be quite good. And he said, oh, right. I said, I suppose we ought to have it frosted. Can you do frosted double glazed windows? And he said, yes, I think we can. I said, because, obviously if it's on the pavement and women are walking along, they've got skirts. They certainly don't want to think that people are looking up through the trap door. I said, that would be very obscene, and we wouldn't want to do. We're not that kind of company. And at which point he was starting to get a little bit, and I just keep going until they hang up, and that's usually the best way. Another one I did, just for a laugh again, was somebody rang up again, some account, and I said, that's interesting that you've rung this number. You shouldn't have got this number. And they said, what do you mean? And I said, well, you shouldn't have got this number. This is the bomb disposal unit you've rung. I'm on location at this very moment. I'm down a 30-foot hole, and I'm defusing a Second World War bomb that's been found in Burnley. I don't think you should have this number. And they were going, and they were still trying to sell me whatever it was. And I said, no, wait a minute, look, I'll talk to you about that in a second. It's just that I've got a blue wire and a red wire, and I'm trying to focus on which one to cut. And you've by calling me now, I've lost my focus. And my trainer thought, which wire do you think I should cut? Should I cut the red wire or the blue wire? Whereupon they hung up. It was I just love taking them for a complete and utter ride and being very silly. The ones that you also get this. You've had an accident recently, and they ring up on the basis that if they ring enough people, somebody somewhere will have had an accident, and so you can use their solicitors to try and get you a better deal when it comes to suing the place that you've had an accident. And it's you've had an accident. I said, and it rang and it said, I understand you've had an accident recently. And I said, yes, I have. Are you the paramedics? And they said, no, we're so-and-so in insurance. I said, oh, fair enough. I said, the thing is, could you, I really need to ring the paramedics. And they said, well, we can do a deal on this, that, and the other. And if you've had this accident, I said, yes, I have had the accident. The car is still on my bloody leg. I'm waiting for the paramedics. I thought you were them, because I've seen no sign of them. Where are they? And it was hilarious. Eventually, of course, they rang off. But this is the thing. Waste their time. If they ring you out of the blue, waste their time. What is the point? If you've had a scam, let me know in the comments. Be fascinated to hear your scam stories. Sorry, itchy nose. I know people don't like it when I scratch or pick at my nose. It's just sometimes sitting in the studio. That's what happens. It's life, isn't it? It's life. It happens. Get over it. So let's have a little look at the comments. At 17 minutes into the 17 minutes 57. I say that because I'll probably go in and stick an advert in the middle here, 18:02. Right, so this is talking about, was it, hang on a minute, yes, a cow sat on me, yes, talking about that. Glenn Horton says, I experience this occasionally. Usually this is where I had this weird feeling that something had sat on me when I was away in an Airbnb in the early hours of the morning. I've experienced, says Glenn, this occasionally, usually in a semi-conscious state in bed. As you said, Richard, I think it's similar to that falling jump, like that you get when sometimes it's a natural explanation. You're also sleeping in a different and strange place, so your body may not have relaxed properly and created the pressure feeling. Exactly. I don't think it was any ghost or anything like that. Barry Stevens says about this cat says, sounds very much like sleep paralysis. Oh my goodness. It was a couple of years, it was about 3 years ago now, so if it was sleep paralysis, I seem to have got over it. Never happened ever again. Stephanie Evans says, not quite the same, but a few years ago when I was a waking night carer in a residential home, I was sitting in the residence lounge in a rare few minutes of calm and quiet during the night. I think I was probably in a semi-dozed state, but I suddenly had a violent feeling of being whisked out of my chair and flying around the room for several minutes. Bloody hell, that sounds very grim. But very curious. same time. I felt as though I was completely awake and I couldn't comprehend what was happening to me. It was really frightening, not at all surprised. I know others would say I'd fallen asleep and was dreaming, but I have never dropped off whilst at work. My job was too important to me. The clarity of what happened convinced me that it was real, daft as it sounds. Well, I have no explanation for it, and people will make up their own mind, of course. But it does sound a very horrible experience, whatever it was. It's all been a bit spooky, in which I was saying, have you seen a ghost? And Cheryl Bostock says, yes, my bungalow was haunted by the previous occupant until someone helped me to guide he to the side. I had quite a few other experiences as well. I see. Imagine, yes, I mean, see, my house, one of the previous owners back in something like I can't remember now, 1870 something. No, must have been later than that because the house was built in 1870 something. So it was probably about 1890s, something like that. It was before the 20th century. Anyway, previous owner had a heart attack at the front door, collapsed and died. And I often thought, I wonder if the previous... I know he died here. Maybe other people died here. You never know. If you've got an old house, the chances are somebody died in it at some point. Do their ghost... I don't really think that ghosts exist, you see, unless I actually see... I've got an open mind to say if I see one and they come in and they will sit down and have a conversation with me, so I can prove that they are who they say they are and it's not just a little mental aberration going on in my head, then I will believe it. So I'm open-minded... I'm not shutting it up, but at the moment, I just don't think it's a true thing. But if it happens, and it will be great. So I've often thought, would there be a ghost in my house? But I've never had any experience to make me feel like that. Screens. We were talking about screens. ENG says, I dozed off watching a channel and felt so relaxed, but woke up instantly as my computer chair crashed to the floor. Blimey. One of the casters had collapsed and I cut my finger in the process. Resume position to be met with your voice talking me about something very calming. Isn't it nice? Well, a lot of people listen to my Naked Englishman to get them to sleep, which is, that's the podcast I do, by the way. More about screens from Shirley Lynch, who says, I must admit I watch too much of the screens. I really need to curb it somehow. Great chat with food for thought. Thank you very much. Please don't cut out this screen. It's very important that you listen to everything I say, of course, he says. He lies glibly. Back to the cow that sat on me. Just Be Happy says, probably something called, here we go, sleep paralysis. A feeling of pressure or someone pressing down on you is common features of sleep paralysis. Sometimes it's known as the old hag in olden days, a type of parasomnia, a sleep disorder. Oh, that's interesting. So sleep paralysis, I've never heard of it. So I've learned something today. Thank you very much for that. That's very kind. Right. Well, I think we'll just do a couple more and then we'll head off. I don't want to keep these too long. Ingram Cars says about screens, I look at screens too much. The other day I was walking through the wonderful village of Horsted Keynes, but kept having an urge to look at my phone. Oh, I know, isn't it? It's that, what is it? The endorphins thing that makes you, is there a message? Has somebody contacted me? Am I important? Does somebody want me? All of that, isn't it? That's what's going on. I wanted to enjoy the beautiful surroundings and peace and quiet, so I switched the bloody thing off, and I don't bloody blame you. Absolutely, that's the way to do it, is switch the thing off. Or leave it in the car if you're somewhere, or leave it at home. Don't take it with you. I mean, it seems like, if I don't take it with me, what happens if there's an emergency and I need to ring for an ambulance? These days, you've probably got time to go home, make a cup of tea, put the telly on, watch an afternoon film before an ambulance comes, because it seems like the NHS is under such difficult conditions and the ambulance people are taking hours and hours to get there. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. You'd be better off with just taking a flag and a stick and doing semaphore signals, and in the hope that somebody somewhere will see it and no doubt come to your aid. And Ballycillian Allotment Man, what a lovely name, says in terms of the cow sitting on you, you should have made a longer video and milked it. Yes, I should have done that. Yes, the cow sitting on me. I see what you did there. Very good. Anyway, there we are. That's it. Thanks so much for listening to my prattle today. More probably tomorrow. All good fun. Don't forget to leave your comments. Have you been scammed? Somebody scammed you? I'd love to know all about your scamming stories. All good fun. Let's waste their time together. The more people know about these scams, the better it is for all of us. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.